Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, and in this lecture we are going to talk about some basic concepts of file systems. So we have already covered all about the file management in Unix, but here is the advanced topic that you should know for your day-to-day operations in Unix. So a file system is nothing but a logical connection of files on partition or a disk. So a partition is nothing but a container for information and can span the entire hard drive if required. So our hard drive can have various partitions which usually contains only one file system. So one file system per partition will allow us for the logical maintenance and the management of differing file systems. So you already know that our C drive can be partitioned as per our requirement. So as similar to that, everything in Unix is considered to be a file, which including physical devices such as DVD-ROMs, USB devices and floppy drives. So now let's talk about directory structure. So the Unix uses a hierarchical file system structure, which is just like a tree-like structure with the root, which is a slash at the base of the file system, and all other directories are spreading from there. So a Unix file system is nothing but a collection of files and directories that has the different properties. So the first one is it has the root directory, which is represented by slash, that contains other files and directories. The second one is each file or a directory is uniquely identified by its name, the directory in which it includes, and the unique identifier typically called as a inode. So the directories have some specific purpose and generally hold the same type of information for easily location of the files. So these are, I have given the directories that exist on the major versions of the Unix. So we will see this one by one. So the first one is a slash, which represents the root directory. So this root directory, which should contain only the directories needed at the top level of the structure. So as we have already discussed, the Unix is just like the tree-like structure. The slash will represent the root of its structure. So for listing out the contents, we will use the ls command and give the slash. So this is our root directory and the files which are present in our root directory. The next one is a bin directory. So this is where the executable files are located. So these files are available to all the users in our Unix. So for listing out the contents, just give like /bin. As you can see, these are all the executable files which are present in our Unix system. The next one is a dev directory, which contains the device drivers. So for that, just give like dev. As you can see, so these are all device drivers in the Unix. The next one is a etc, which contains the supervisor directory commands, configuration files, disk configuration files, as well as the valid user list, groups, ethernets, hosts, and where to send the critical messages. So this all information will be present in our etc directory. So for that, just we will list out the items /etc. As you can see, so these are all the files I have just talked about. The next one is a lib, which represents the library. So this library contains the shared library files and sometimes the other kernel related files. So for this, just list out the contents again to get you the clear idea what it really means. So these are all shared library files in Unix. The home will contains the home directory for users and the other accounts. So for that, just list out the items home. As you can see, so this is the home directory. So the USR, or we can say user directory, which is used for miscellaneous purposes and can be used by many users. So this includes the administrative commands, shared files, library files, other files as well. So just list out the items. So ls user, so usr, as you can see. The next one is a var, which typically contains the variable length files such as the log and print files and any other type of file that may contain a variable amount of data. Let's see if we have this type of directory. So ls var, as you can see, this files contains a variable amount of data which is present in this var directory. So the next topic will be navigating within the file system. So it doesn't need any introduction because we have already covered this topic, but let me complete this very quickly. So these are all the commands that I have given which we will use for navigating within our file system. The first one is a cat which displays the content within a file. The cd will be used for changing the directory. All we have to do is give cd and the directory name. The third one is a copy which copies one file to the specified location or a file. The next one is a file which identifies which type of file it is, if it is a binary file or text file, etc. The next one is the find, which is used for finding the file or a directory. The head will shows the beginning of the file. The less will browses through a file from the end or the beginning. The ls that we have already covered will be useful for listing out the contents within our directory. The mkdir will be useful for creating the specified directory. The more is used for browsing through a file from the beginning to the end. The mv command is similar to the copy, but it will be used for moving out the location or renaming a file or a directory. The pwd will shows the current directory. The rm will remove the file, which is similar to the rmdir command, which is our next command. So rmdir will be used for a directory. The tail will shows the end of the file, which is the opposite of a head command. The touch will creates a blank file or modifies an existing file or its attributes. Where is will shows the location of the file, and which will shows the location of file if it is in your path. So these all commands that we have already seen in the previous lectures, but let me execute this command just to brush up your concepts. So we will execute our navigating commands one by one. So the first one is the ls command, which is used for listing out the contents. For more information we can use the -l or -ltr option, so just give -ltr for giving the more information. If it is a directory or a file, and the permissions which are allotted to it, the user, the contents within the file, timestamp on which it is created, and so on. So this information we can get by -l or -ltr option. So as we have listed out the contents within our file, let's make one directory. So for making the directory we will use like mkdir, and we can give the directory name. So here we can give like hello world. We have created one directory named hello world. So to get into this directory we can give like cd command, which is used for changing the directory, and give hello world. As you can see, we are in our hello world directory now. So for getting out of this directory, all you have to do is change the directory and give the dash for getting out of the directory by one place. So now we are in our home directory right now. And for removing this directory we can give like rmdir, which is used for removing the directory. So just give like hello world, and as you can see the directory has been removed. Again we'll list out the items, and here you can see there are so many scripts are present here. So if you want to see the contents within our file, we will use the cat command. So the cat loop.sh. So as you can see, it is showing the contents within the file. So it is nothing but an example of a loop that we have seen in our previous lectures. But if you want to remove this file completely, we can use the rm command for removing the file. So just give rm loop.sh. So we have removed this file. So if we use the cat command again, it will show like no such file or a directory, as we have deleted the file completely. Now let's list out the contents. Let's consider if we want to copy the contents from one file to the another, we can do that by using the cp command. So just give like copy the file name. So the first file will be loops.sh and the second file name. So just give like strings.sh. As you can see, this command will be useful for copying the contents from one file to the another. And we have one more command, which is pwd for getting in which directory we are in, which gives us the present working directory. So for that, just we can give like pwd and hit enter. As you can see, it will give us the directory which we are currently in. So these are all the major commands that you will use for navigating within our file system. So if you have any doubt in it, just post your queries in the comments below. Now let's talk about the df command. So the first way to manage your partition space is by using the df, which is a disk free command. Disk free command will displace the disk space usage in kilobytes. So this will be useful for identifying how much disk has been consumed by our directories. So the syntax is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is df with the -k option. So let us execute this command to get you more clarity. So here we will use the df, which is a disk free command with -k option. So as you can see, it is giving the contents which are consumed by all the directories. So as I am using this Cygwin terminal, it is showing disk storage which is consumed by the hard disk in my computer. And it is also showing usage percentage and the available space in kilobytes. So it will be useful for identifying how much disk has been utilized and how much is available for your file storage. And the last topic of today's lecture is a du command, which shows us the disk usage. So this will enable us to specify the directories to show the disk space usage on the particular directory. So this command is very helpful if you want to determine how much space a particular directory is taking. So this following command will display the number of blocks consumed by each directory. So let's execute this. So for this, just give like du, and as you can see, it is getting us the space a particular directory is taking. So here you can see most of the directories are empty, which is showing us the 0 result. So this command will be useful for identifying the contents within our directories. And we can also use it with the -h option, which makes the output easier to comprehend. So to do that, just you give like du -h, and this will give us the information which will be easy for us to analyze how much space has been consumed by all the directories in our Unix system. So I hope you got the clear idea about some basic concept in a file system, in which we have seen what is a file system, its structure. Also we have seen the directory structure and the different directories and the contents within them. We have also seen the commands for navigating within our file system. And at the last, we have seen the df and du commands to get the information about the disk usage within the Unix system. So if you like this lecture, please subscribe to our channel and also ring the notification bell to get the latest updates. And don't forget to follow us on our social media that I have linked in the description below. Thanks for watching.